Hey, welcome to a beautiful morning back here at the river house. A morning after apparently torrential rains, because it's a mess. Trying to get back into the swing of things here, and school's finally out. I'm just gonna hit and hammer nice and hard. So on the agenda today is unloading and putting away a bunch of stuff. So I got a whole mess of scrap metal here from the school, some signs that probably end up as Christmas gifts to the neighbor, and parts to a couple of desks that may or may not become a repurposed shelving unit. But right now they really just need to go onto the main scrap pile, and then after that we'll deal with it. I need to switch out the water system. I was given another water tank since my homemade ones looks like they've rusted through. Oh, Grandma's irises are down there. Yeah. And then after that, it's time to bring the welder out in between the rainstorms, weld the extension on the well casing, because definitely setting that is something I want to do here really soon. It's pretty out here though. I've sanded them smooth. Gonna weld it up here. I'll grind it smooth again. Grinder and paint. Welder I ain't. Probably put a wrap of zip tape around it and then paint it. So that should be good to go. We're going to be using the world's cheapest Harbor Freight wire feed here, because I don't have 220 for the big welder or a cable that'll reach. That's not true. I got a cable I could splice together up there. I'm not going to bother. We're just going to weld it with this. It's not structural. I just need to hold it strong enough I can mount a hose reel on it or something like that. Other than that, it's just a gravel barrier. Not pretty, but pretty adequate. I'll grind that down. I'm not going to worry about pinholes. It's not pressurized. I'll grind it back down. I'll polish it up with the flap disc. And started to sprinkle, so I'll have to wait till it dries, and then I'll get the zip tape on it. Earned her keep another time. What a piece of junk, but it keeps doing stuff. Nice. We'll get that polished up. All right, that's all done. Seam taped. So pitless fitting way the hell down inside there. Much farther down than normal, I believe, but such is life in the odd way this wellhead went together. If you remember, this is where I had to trench it into the bedrock 1.5 feet all the way up through here, raise this 2 feet, and bury styrofoam over the top of everything. 1 inch of styrofoam is the equivalent of 1 extra foot of dirt, according to the chart on the internet, and it has three more inches of styrofoam. So that should equate to 6 or 7 feet down total. The propane tank will sit here, propane tank will sit there. There's the propane line going up the hill. I don't know if I should start on that or if I should go work on the house. Still got it. Okay. So we're downstairs in the basement. As you can see, I carried that wall at least over there. I can build the rest of that with scraps. This needed to be done because technically that's an exterior concrete wall, and you only had the 2 inches of beadboard styrofoam, so I don't know, R7 or whatnot. we're ready to do, I got this wall to here, so I'd like to carry it the rest of the way across. And then I have to decide, I've been using my old form boards as sheeting down here, and I have to decide if that's a valid use for them. I keep arguing, A, I own it, B, I can attach crap tons of shelves anywhere I want to. I don't know if that's a valid argument. I mean, they're concrete form boards. I'd like to get this the rest of the way across, which obviously means picking all this crap up. Get it insulated with at least the insulation I have currently. And then I have acquired a bunch of those crappy pressed tin metal shelving units, and I'd like to get them down there and attached to the wall so they can't tip over, and then load them with all of the plumbing stuff to get it out of my way. Whew. Smells like money. Whole bunch of sawn 2x4s. Look at that thing. Somewhere there's a boat builder wondering who stole his board. Oh, look at the mold already starting on them. That's the problem with blue pine. I mean, blue pine already is a fungus. So basically they've... Lovely. Let's get them in so they can dry reasonably straight. That would be the other argument for the 3/4, is that this stuff is going to bow like a sea captain's legs, and you know, might as well be in place and strapped down behind some heavy plywood. You can see what I'm doing here. That's that vent. So I'm just directing it down, and I'll put an actual vent there. And again, this one here, put an actual vent down there. Okay. Oh, here's one other thing I'd like to see. I'd like to see if we're flooding again. Oh, that dampness in the cracks, not a good... Oh, hell. Do we have standing water? Whoa! Okay, look at the mice tracks. I've got a lot of critters in here. All right, I'm going to need to set up and deal with that ASAP. I don't see standing water pooling this time. I got gravel and plastic. I need... Oh, there's pooling water. Gravel and plastic to cover this and at least trap that moisture down below. I don't need it up here in the house. All right, some stuff to work on. Okay, they're all up, nice and straight. And I got to use up all my old crap certainty roll. Perfect place for it. It took forever because each one of these had to be ripped down because our forms didn't hold. So this wall bellies really bad. And I didn't want to step the whole thing out, so I ripped them all down. But yeah. Oh, and so on these, because I don't want this pouring right down on top of all my water as far as the cold air goes, I've moved it over, and I'll bring it down. Probably in a duct. This one here is just going to come down, and I'll have a vent cut in at the bottom. And the same goes with the one down over there. You can see this one here is already installed, and then that way there's no like light pollution or whatnot down in here, but also I'm going to dump any of the fresh air right at the bottom of the house, right at the absolute bottom layer. Oh, and it stops the wind because the wind comes screaming through here and blows all the crap around. So this way it's going to come across the bottom. I got that little bit left over there. God, is it worth throwing up that plywood? What else am I going to do with it? It's all going to be a rotten mess before I ever get back to it. I did it. Yeah, they weren't showing signs of really rotten at all. Actually, they weren't even wet, so I must have had them covered okay. But I own it. I have enough of it. Most of it was the floor in Grandpa's pole building before I used it, so this is already recycling it twice. I think it'll be good. It is what it is. I'm gonna go pull that block so I can start pumping fresh air out of that hole down there. And then that'll give me the ability to put my plug in up here and then just drop a board down. Hey, and we're back. So, another bright look at that. Look at that. It's natural. It's all natural. Another bright, shiny day out here at the... We accomplished bunches yesterday. And we're about to accomplish some more. Look at that river. I guess I left this thing unlatched one time. This thing being the sheet of plywood that is my door. Anyways, it got grabbed by the wind and thrown back and forth until it smashed the doorstop. And luckily I got some pretty cool neighbors, and they noticed. So they drove up here and then screwed the door shut for me. Which is good, because had they not done that, I'm sure I would have lost it. Nonetheless, I had to go ahead and remake my new door props, which I set somewhere and I can't seem to find. There it is. Remake a new door. And we'll get that installed because I need to screw the door open again today. Let's go downstairs, look at what we've done, look at what is to be also done. So this is where we left off. I'm going to continue. I've just committed to using up my wood. I do not believe I have enough to go all the way over there. Don't care. I'm going to do this, and I'll start down that way. Yeah, I'm fully aware there are more important things to be doing, but many of those things I don't know how to do, and I'm sort of stuck a bit until we get the electrical figured out. You know, I don't want to cover any walls. I also have vacuum lines. I need to run, I think, 3 ports, and that hasn't been done. And I don't actually own that pipe. Other than that, we should be ready to seal up the walls, and then we'll start drywall, and then lots of stuff will change in a hurry. So I'm doing this, and I'm doing this in the hopes that once I get this done, I will be able to pick up and rearrange all this stuff and get enough room upstairs to do things. I don't know whether it's a pipe dream or not, but I do know the entire upstairs needs to be mocked out. And rather than just stacking it down here, wouldn't it be nice to have shelves or something? Anyways, that's what we're working on today. Forgot how much this plywood smells. Danny and Shay are supposed to come out today, and I will get them unhauling rock, throwing it in there, and then gravel, and then we'll at least get a good old-fashioned start down there. I'm going to continue on this, though. All right, we're not done for the day, per se, but we're getting close. This is what we got. Walls all plywooded all over to there. These are cutouts from the stair risers. I'm just using a pocket screw jig and screwing them to the wall that way. These are in place and screwed to the back of the wall. And then Danny and Shay came, and we moved the gravel. Now we've got at least a bunch of the gravel down in here. It'll lean a little bit more up in these spots where the water tends to run. So I'll put down pea gravel, then I'll put down the plastic, and then I'll put pea gravel on top of the plastic in order to protect it. And that should trap all my runoff water underneath the big plastic sheet and dramatically cut down the moisture down in here. So that's a fair bit to have gotten done. It's 4:30, so I'll probably work for another hour and a half, 2 hours or so. That'll be 10 hours. Yeah. Should be able to put a second row down underneath that, and should be able to start stacking this stuff up out of the way. Looks good.